This to our final reflection on this today, and that is that this priesthood of Jesus is shared with us through the priesthood through two ways. First is, of course, through our baptism and chrismation, which is why I always reinforce how important it is that we understand that you've been empowered by God to give a type of priestly blessing. That's why I always think it's so important for parents to bless their children at night before they go to bed, to bless them before they leave the home, especially the men of the parish. But it's true of the women too. Anyone baptized is sharing in if you're sharing in the life of Christ, you're sharing in the priesthood of Christ. So there's one other, of course, aspect of that, and that is one of the gifts of the risen Jesus, the risen ascended Christ, which is the priesthood itself, the ministerial priesthood. Notice that the angel that represents the second person of the Blessed Trinity over here, okay, that this is very much also when the priest is exercising his ministry, the ministerial priesthood. Notice which person of the Blessed Trinity I represent. I represent the second person of the Blessed Trinity, Jesus. What was unique about the second person of the Blessed Trinity? It became human. The Word became flesh. And so that Jesus' incarnate presence continues in two ways that are directly related. One is that the Eucharist, under the appearance of the bread and wine, Christ continues his incarnate presence in his church through the agency of the third person of the Blessed Trinity, but also in every one of the sacraments through the ministerial priesthood. I was talking to I can't say a young priest, but younger than I. I have to qualify that now. And he was having a bad time. He was feeling like, he said, my congregation doesn't care about me. Rah, 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 rah. He was down to those self-pity parties, We get that way too, And I said, no, that's not true. I said, Dick, that's not true. I said, the reality is, I said that you're forgetting who you are to them. So when they approach you, they're not approaching Joe Schmo. They're approaching Father Joe, who represents to them Jesus Christ. And they're wanting not just to be touched by you as a person, but to be touched by Jesus Christ through your body, which you gave Jesus when you were ordained. It was really a wonderful moment. I hadn't really planned what I was going to say, and you could just see it was the right thing. And he was brought back to his sense of vocation. And how a wonderful thing the ministerial priesthood is. When I ended my time, it was time to leave the prisoner in Safford. He got a little tear, and I said, now don't get emotional. And he says, I just have to tell you, I didn't feel like you came to visit me. I felt like Jesus Christ came into the prison today. And indeed he did. Through this poor body, this poor person and personality, Jesus Christ was able to be incarnate present in a human way, in a way that person could see and touch and hear. And that is the beautiful thing about the priesthood. And it's the thing that we have to understand as Catholics, that we believe in that New Testament ministerial priesthood. That this Jesus, who is perpetually in a priestly prayer with the Father, is sending that grace down, and it is acting powerfully through his priest. And you need to pray for us, because of that link, that connection, we are the primary targets of evil. But today, let us appreciate the priesthood of Jesus Christ as it is lived out in the gift of his ministerial priest. And let us conclude with a very old poem that expresses in a very sentimental but very true way, the gift of the priesthood. It's called The Beautiful Hands of a Priest. We need them in life's early morning. We need them again at its close. We feel their warm clasp of true friendship. We seek them when tasting life's woes. At the altar each day we behold them. The hands of a king on his throne are not equal to those in their greatness. Their dignity stands all alone. And when we are tempted and wander to pathways of shame and of sin, it's the hand of a priest that will absolve us, not once, but again and again. And when we are taking life's partner, other hands may prepare us a feast, but the hands that will bless and unite us are the beautiful hands of a priest. God bless them and keep them all holy for the Eucharist which their fingers daily caress. For like us, they are only poor sinners that in turn need the touch of another to guide them and bless. And when the hour of death comes upon us, may our courage and strength be increased by seeing raised over us in blessing the beautiful hands of a priest.